Why do people feel the need to buy the latest and greatest smartphones in today's world? Is it because they want to be cool? Is it because they need all the features and all the speed and everything that comes with a new phone? Or is it because their carrier allows them to upgrade every year? Well, most people would argue that they don't want to upgrade every year. Actually, the average is like everybody upgrades every 4 years. We are not most people that are watching this video. If you're watching, you love tech. You want the latest and greatest because tech is awesome. Technology advancing is awesome. But we are not most people. So with that out the way, let's talk about a phone that I think will work for most people. So the Boost Celero 5G Plus is the phone that we're going to be talking about today. It costs a grand total of $99 out the door with no contract. I'm going to go through the specs of this phone, and I'm also going to be talking about why I think most people don't need the latest and greatest. So the version of phone I have is a Boost mobile phone. They did send me this phone to talk about it. I do not have any obligation to speak positive about this phone, but they sent it to me and said, make a video. We think you're gonna like it. Say what you want, so I'm going to. The Boost mobile though, I will say, has service, it seems like all the time. There has been times when my T-Mobile for my iPhone 14 Pro does not have service. I will use the Boost. And I find myself hotspotting from this phone to my laptop when I'm out on the road because, as you know, I always travel. I hotspot from this more than I do T-Mobile. It's not slow service either. If it shows full bars, you're gonna get 50 to 60 megabits per second up and down. Like, it's really good. The Wi-Fi chip in this phone is fantastic as well. As you see in this footage, that's the speeds that I get at this house. So, it does the job. I should test it on my dad's fiber at his office. Maybe I will record that and throw it in here. If I did, you see the footage. If not, there's no footage of that. Either way, my personal experience, Boost, I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if it's just something they put in this phone because they knew they were sending it to me. It always seems to have service when T-Mobile does not. T-Mobile's been great, but when that phone don't have service, this one does. And as you know, I've took it to Tennessee, took it to Texas, several places in Texas. I live in Florida. Everywhere in Florida I travel. I took it to Bimini. That's the only place it did not work, was in Bimini, because it don't have an international plan. That's kind of obvious, but T-Mobile did work in Bimini. Anyways, so the service, don't let the fact that this is a Boost phone scare you away from buying it, because it has service everywhere. All right, so let's get in the nitty gritty specs of this phone. It has a 7-inch 1080p display, which is nice. It says it can refresh up to 120 frames per second, but when I check the box for it, it honestly don't change the experience. It feels the same. It feels as if it was still at 60. It does not change the experience at all. This also has 128 gigabyte internal storage, which is good for a $99 phone. That's pretty good, 128 gigs. It also has room for expandability. It has a little slot, as you see here in this footage. So you can put however much storage you want with a micro SD card slot. That's pretty awesome as well. It comes with 5,000 milliamp hour battery that will easily last you a day and a half. Also, it comes with a cable, USB-C cable. It comes with a brick in the box. This phone, $99 phone, has wireless charging. It's amazing. It works good too. The charging with the wire, USB-C, is fast charging. So that's fantastic as well in case you forget to charge it one night and you want a little juice. While you're brushing your teeth, taking a shower, let it charge, give you some juice. The processor in this phone is a Qualcomm 6375 mid-range chip, but as you can see, it can hold its own in the speed department. The only department that this phone does not hold its own is the camera department, which we will talk about later in this video. But for everyday use from switching app to app, honestly, it's fast enough to get the job done. That also reminds me that it has 6 gigabytes of RAM. Honestly, I think it's enough for this phone. I have not noticed it closing out apps that I wish were still open. 6 gigabytes of RAM is plenty for this phone. Remember, $99. So let's talk about the Android version that comes with this phone. It comes with Android 11 from what their website says and what they're telling me. But right now I was able to update to Android 12. So updates do happen. I don't know how long you get updates on this phone. I doubt it'd be that long, but they do have Android 12 as of now, which is great, but it's always good to have the latest and greatest Android version. So keep that in mind when purchasing any phone. Okay, so let's talk about some other cool features this phone has. It has a fingerprint reader that's pretty fast. I never have a problem with it. The only recommendation I would make is make sure you get your thumb and then your index finger on the left hand so you could use both hands to unlock it. The build quality of this phone is okay. It's made from plastic, not glass, metal, which most people know, glass or metal feels more premium in the hand. This is made of plastic. Keep that in mind. $99, I think that's the 5th time I said that. I won't say it no more. Promise. I will say that it's a big phone. It took some getting used to coming from my iPhone 14 Pro. The Celero 5G Plus has 7-inch screen and the iPhone 14 Pro has a 6.1-inch screen. That 1-inch difference is really noticeable, to be honest. It's a big difference. I mean, look at this. Huge difference. This phone also has an NFC feature. I've never used it, never messed with it, so I don't want to speak any more on it, but it says it has NFC. If you go into settings, it's there, but I have not messed with it. So let's talk a little about taking or receiving a phone call with this phone. All the phone conversations I've had on this phone, nobody complained about it sounding bad or breaking up or anything crazy. It just works the way it should, honestly. The speaker is nice and loud. The microphone is close to your mouth because it's a big phone, so there's no complaints. It works, it's nice and fast. It picks up the call, hangs up the call. Everything just works great when it comes to receiving or taking a phone call, or receiving or placing a call. There you go, got it. Okay, so let's talk about the cameras on this phone. It has a 50 megapixel main camera. It only shoots that if you're in the 50 megapixel mode. If you're not in that mode, it shoots 12 megapixels, which the photos on this phone on the main camera are not the best. As you see on these side-by-side shots, they're okay. Nothing to write home about, but it will get the memory. Like I said, most people are not tech heads like us, but they do want a good photo. They want the photo to look good so they could share it on social media. They could do what they want. You know, they could send it to people. Most people do want a good photo. This phone shoots photos. It will get the memory, but it will not get the photo great. It will get it and it will look okay, depending on the lighting. Honestly, if the lighting conditions suck, the photo is not going to be that good. This phone does not even have its own photo gallery. It uses Google Photos, which I think that Google Photos does the processing, which is why I think the photos are as good as they are, because Google Photos is doing the processing, which, you know, Google Photos is pretty dang good. Don't buy it just for the cameras. This also has a front camera that's 16 megapixels. The megapixels being higher does not equal better photos. It also has a wide, and it also has a 2 megapixel camera on here as well. But the wide, as you see in these photos, it's okay. It's the same. It's not worse or it's not better than the main. If anything, it's a little worse than the main camera. So that's that when it comes to the pictures. Let's get into the video. This phone says it will do 1080-60, but honestly, I've only been able to get it to do 1080-30. Every time I switch over to 1080-60, it just will not record. I hit the record button and nothing happens. Switch it over to 1080-30 and it will actually record. As you see in this footage and as you see on this B-roll, it just will not record. The footage is very mediocre. It will get the memory, which most people care about, but it does not look like an iPhone or a Samsung phone. That's all there is to talk about when it comes to the cameras and photos. It's very basic, but it will get photos and video that are decent quality. So with all that out the way, would I recommend this phone? In my opinion, I would definitely recommend this phone, because most people, all they're going to be doing is checking email, checking social media, taking a photo here or there of their kids or whatever they have going on in their life. It will work. It will do the job. It's fast. Battery life's good. The screen's good. Not everybody are tech heads like us. So yes, I would recommend this phone. So with saying all that, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell notification, and I'll see you in the next video.